Morning everyone, Norik Koczarian here. 5 minute rounds with myself. So I'm starting this sessions from first video with subject of preparation. Because I believe when it comes to mindset, when it comes to training yourself, there's a 3 steps basically you need to look after. First one is a preparation. Next one would be your basically fight day, match day, or whatever you want to name it, and then post fight, post match, post tournament, post championships, because you need to look after all those 3 areas. So starting with preparation. Preparation is one of the most important skills you can ever just have when it comes to competing at the highest level. So when you think about preparation, there are few steps. As it gets closer to your fight, tournament, championships, you get more stress, you get more distracted, you get more fear, you get more doubts in yourself, and it can be quite damaging. So I remember back in 2013 when I was competing, I had about 9 or 10 tournaments on that year. And in some stage, within 5, 6 weeks, I was preparing for 3 weight divisions. And when it comes to sport related to weight cut and anything related to, preparing through just not only about physical training, but also going through a lot of mind training, one of the most important things was when I was competing with the 3 weight divisions, I had to realize that I'm starting with 74 kilo, going to 70 kilos, and then 64. And I only have 5 weeks. If I focused every time just on cutting weight, what would happen? I would get stressed about how I'm going to compete. I would get stressed about my opponents. I would get stressed about the level of the tournament. And I didn't focus at all on weight cut. What I realized, my main focus should have been on what I want to achieve on those tournaments. That gave me a drive to wake up every single day. That gave me a drive to actually go there and do whatever I had to do. So one of the techniques I used was visualization. So I visualized every single day basically what I want to achieve from each of the tournaments, and then the end goal was basically to compete at the Commonwealth Games. So every tournament I competed was basically an action step towards my bigger goal, which was the Commonwealth Games. And yes, you might say, was it tough or was it easy? Yes, it was very tough, because you have to realize if you ever try to cut the weight, you do realize that it's quite tough going, and you're going through, emotional levels change, you're going through mind level change, your thoughts are basically can distract you, your thoughts can actually sabotage you, your thoughts can basically build a huge barrier in front of you. And the only person who actually can overcome those barriers is yourself. It's that how simple it is. Basically, you need to realize that there is something on the other side. And one of the key elements for myself was to actually have the vision that I'm competing at the Commonwealth Games, and no matter what, I will do my absolute best. So what I decided to do is I've decided to compete at those 3 weight classes. The reason behind it was because I wanted to test myself. What is my best weight class? And I had the opportunity because I worked hard for that. I've already qualified in some stages. I still needed to qualify through a couple more competitions, international level, national level. But I decided to risk it because it was still not late. And I never focused on, okay, how many fights I need to win, how many tournaments I need to win. I just promised myself that I'm going to do my absolute best every single time I compete. So just giving yourself an opportunity creates another way of preparing your mind, strengthening your mind, and actually helping you to overcome all the fears, all the barriers you're facing at the right moment. So by risking, what are you doing as well? You're actually approaching the best ever possible way of getting to where you want to be and starting from where you are. Why is that? Because you then realize what is the best for yourself. Because sometimes you can guess, sometimes you can question yourself, or what's going to be the best for myself, what I have to do, where do I need to go with this. But the best thing is just go and try it. So I work with quite a lot of MMA fighters. I work with speedway team. I work with footballers. I work with rugby players. So I do realize that one of the things what is very common in this is when it comes to trying something new, there's always that risk and there's always that fear of what if it won't work. Well, guess what? If you can talk yourself into if it won't work, I guess you can actually talk yourself into what if it does work. So what I'm trying to say in here, when you're preparing for another competition, when you're basically competing very soon or you're planning to compete, try. Risk sometimes is a very good thing. So you might risk it, you might like it, you might not like it. So it's easy to step away. So I went to 74 kilos. Yep, it was good, but it wasn't my favorite weight class. So I went to 70 kilos. And yet again, it was okay. So I felt, okay, I need to try something else. Because when I was competing at 70 kilos, as I built it up, I was really weighing about 72, 73 kilos. So that wasn't my weight. I didn't feel right. And I actually talked myself through out of that. So when I end up 65, I realized that's my weight class. And I weighed myself as 65 and then competed in around 69. So I did realize that this is the best feeling I have, and this is the sharpest I've ever been. This is the fastest I've ever been. And the most importantly, this was the most confident I've ever been competing at the highest level. So preparation, number one step, and I hope this at least is helpful for yourself. So make sure you tune in every single Wednesday morning. It should be in around this time, might be slightly earlier, might be slightly later, but it will be basically dedicated for yourself to overcome every single obstacle. And I'm talking more about mindset. It's nothing about physical ability. We all work quite strong on our physical abilities. We all work on our strengths, conditioning, and we're quite often forgetting about our mindset. So mindset is one of the most important things. So looking forward to see you and achieving better goals. See you soon.